What's up, everybody? It's C to the J with the roll away, and I am live on Facebook. And I know you're used to seeing me on my computer, but today has been a very, very emotional day for me. It's been a very, very, very emotional day for us, and we're going through a lot right now, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just a lot going on. I apologize for the noise upstairs. Give me a second. They are fixing something. I'm not sure what they're doing, so you're going to hear noise a little bit. That's why I'm live on my phone. I'm not on the radio today because they're working upstairs. Normally, I would be up in my chair, but I am exhausted, and I am tired, and I am scared, and I am anxious. And as all that is, on Wednesday at 7 p.m., I have a show to do, and I'm going to do that show unless I'm dead to the world like I was, a Wednesday ago, or 2 weeks ago, rather, I should say. I look at this and I say, when handling a big decision, some people think that a big decision is not necessarily a bad decision. You're talking about life. Life happens, and I've said this a lot, for you. It does not happen to you. But there are pros and cons and consequences to every decision that you make. Now, unfortunately, I cannot see who is online with me right now, so do me a favor and please leave a comment. Let me know who you are, where you're watching from, that kind of thing, so I know. But I do want to mention this. Every decision in my life that I make, I take very, very seriously. I always have. I'm an individual that weighs my decisions, and I didn't used to do this. I didn't used to, weigh my decision and look at it. And when I was in my 20s, I would make a decision based on what I wanted. When you are getting married, when you are in a relationship with another person, every decision that you make involves the two of you. Every decision that you make involves and affects the two of you. Regardless of whether or not the decision is good or bad, everything that you do in that decision, it affects the two of you. And like I said, in a decision-making process, whatever that decision is, there's pros and cons to every decision. And I again apologize for the noise upstairs. They're working upstairs. Normally I'm on my computer, but I'm in my bed today. I don't usually do this, but I'm hurting, and it's been a really rough CP day. You have days like this, but you press on. Hey, Thomas, how are you? Hey, Shayna, how are you? Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. I look at my life every day, and in every decision that I do, I have Kim to think about, myself to think about, our animals to think about, my roommate to think about. A decision, when you have a household of people, does not affect just you. From when you go to the store to get food, to when you pay your bills, to how you operate your day. When you have other people in your house, you have to think about them. You have to think about what effect your decisions have on them. Hey, Kristen, how are you? I realize that that's a broad statement, but I can't, while I can't say what this decision is that we're facing right now, we are about to make one of the biggest decisions of our entire life. And we have talked about this decision. We have weighed out the pros and cons of it. We've thought about, what we're going to do, how it's going to affect us. We've told very few people, because a lot of people like to run their mouths and put their input in, and I don't mind input. Input doesn't bother me at all, but I will tell you this: too many hands in the cookie jar, sooner or later you don't have any cookies left. I was talking to Kim the other day about this, and we were going through some of the things that we had to think about. I'm doing well. I'm tired and I'm sore, but I'm doing well. That's why I'm laying down. I don't usually do my shows like this, but I have to tonight. I have wondered about this decision since I was 25 years old. And I've wanted to make this decision since I was 25 years old. But when I made this decision, it wasn't just me that made it. It was the entire household. And some members of a household may like a decision, and others may not. But you have to decide what is good for you and the person that you are with. So for so long, even when I was married before, every decision I made it based on my wife and I. But when I was single, every decision I made, I really didn't have to think about, because I did what I wanted to do. Regardless of where I was, regardless of, how late it was, I could stay up, as late as I wanted. I could go where I wanted. I could do whatever I want to do, and I could still do that, but I'm in bed by almost 10, 11 o'clock every night now, pretty much. Because by the end of my day, hey Adam, how are you? I'm tired. By the end of my day, I'm worn out. And I look at life and a simple decision. I'll go through some of them with you. You decide that you're going to clean your house. I used to get up at 8 o'clock in the morning, and I used to start in the kitchen and clean the sink, clean the counters, and take out the stuff, and, wash the cups and load the dishwasher, and yada, 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 yada. I'd take a break. Hey, Toby. I'd take a break. I'd start back at it. I'd work on the living room. I'd organize my shelves. And I wouldn't even eat, because I would be so focused on the decision that I made to clean the house. And I would want to get it all done in one day. I don't do that anymore. I don't do a one-day house cleaning anymore. I do things in sections now, because my energy is different. My thought process is different. My pain tolerance is different. And you look and say, man, you're only 43. How can it be different? Because it's different for everybody. It is different to each individual is their own journey. So I may not finish the house in one day, but the room that I finish or where we start, we finish, and it looks darn good. We're cleaning out the back room. We're getting rid of things we don't need. We're reorganizing things. We have a pantry now. So all of these things, we have to go through and, check the expiration date on things, yada, yada, yada. We have to go through and we have to do the laundry. Well, Kim does the laundry because I'm not able to bend over and get the clothes out of the washer, but I am able to get the clothes out of the dryer. So if she's tired and she's done 3 loads of laundry, on the second or third load, I may go and pull the clothes out of the dryer for her and start folding things that I can fold and doing things that I can do in a decision to help her, because when you tackle one problem with 2 people, it makes it quicker. Now, she's in every show with me. She's been in every show with me, and she's here. She's just not in the bed because the dog is laying here and has decided to possess what used to be her spot. And we told the dog to get down, and the dog did listen for about 2 seconds, and then got back up here, gave me a kiss, and laid back down. So I guess Baby is going to be part of the show today, whether we like it or not. She's laying right here. That's where she's laying. That's what she does. She lays with me as much as she can get away with.
Hi, guys.
Alright, but Kim is right over here.
Hello.
And I'll turn the camera so that you guys can see she's making a bracelet over there. Alright, but she is here. Okay? So, talking about life, and again, I can't go over the big decision that and I may go over it on the air. I don't know. I don't think so. I'm not going to do it today, but not until everything is done. But I'm pretty helpful with household chores and stuff like that. And what's cool about, hey, Lauren, how are you? What's cool about life is when you have a roommate, you can get a roommate to mop the floor or take out the trash, and you split things through life. You split the chores. You don't have one person do everything. Hey, Kimberly, we don't have one person to do everything. We have some things Marshall will do, some things I will do, some things Kim will do, some things we will do together. Kim is able to change the sheets on the bed. She's able to change the sheets on the bed with me on it. We figured out that we had to figure out how to do that the other day because accidents happen. Something happened. We had to change the sheets. It was 3 in the morning. I wasn't getting up because I was dead to the world and very sick. And she said, well, roll over this way. Sheet on one side. Roll over the other way. Sheet on the other side. Pull, pull, pull. Make it tight, and there you are. It all depends on how bad you want to get something done. Now, certain decisions in life are going to have roadblocks. My buddy Rick says, nothing ever goes the way you intended to go. Okay? So you always have what you call side roads. Alright? I'll give you an example. We were going to put up a light. Okay? We took this little light in here, and we put this little light in here, and we put our big light out in the living room. Now, my roommate Marshall says that was a mistake because it's too bright. But you turn that light on and you brighten up the whole house, and you have enough light in your living room, and it makes your living room look nice and bigger. And then you have a little one like this, to where I'm not blinded when I get up in the morning, and we have a little light in here as well. And now baby wants to get on camera because I was talking about her. Stop. Lay down. But, it is what it is. We take turns walking the dog, or the dog takes turns walking us, whatever it may be. When she chooses to pull us across the field to say she's got to go to the bathroom, we're going to go across that field whether we want to or not. Now, sometimes I go with my chair attached, and sometimes I don't. We have had that happen. Again, those are the pros and cons of some of the decisions that I made. I chose not to wear my seatbelt, and when I chose not to wear my seatbelt, I found out very quick that I should, because I went flying out of my chair in a walking the dog experience that I don't want to have again. So now when I go outside, I wear my seatbelt. And she put her head down like, oh, I did something wrong. It's okay, I still love you, I understand. You didn't mean to pull Daddy out of the chair, it's okay. But decisions are tough. Finances are tough. Everybody here pays rent, and everybody should. And here, some people think that, the man should take care of everything, and, the man's the provider, and this, that, and the other. I'm going to tell y'all something. When Kim and I got together, one of the things we talked about is our relationship is going to be equal, okay? Now, everybody says no relationship is 50-50, all right? Bullshit. A relationship can be 50-50 if you want it to be, okay? You have to, and what I like is I was talking to Grandmaster Jack Dark the other day, and we came up, when we were talking about something, a martial arts tournament, and a post that was made, and we came up, and he said, with life, you get out of life what you put in, okay? Life is what you make it, okay? You can have a bad situation, but still have a good outlook about it, and it won't be as bad as you think it is. Hey, Christopher, long time no see, brother. Welcome to the show. I have not done a post from my phone or a show from my phone in a very long time because I'm usually up and out and about. But we looked at the time, and Kim said, Kim, what's today? And she said, Wednesday. I said, oh, crap, it's 6:45. I got to do my show. She goes, do you want to get up? And I go, no, but I got to do my show. She says, well, you got to get up. I'm like, no, I'm going to go live from my phone. Why? Because I can. And because I can have a good show sitting right here. And if I just so happen to fall asleep during the show, you guys will wake me up. Thanks in the comments. It's okay. I'm still here. We're still working. And the dog's still trying not to knock the phone out of my hand because she wants my attention. I understand, baby. I'm petting you. That's all you're going to get. Now, when you're living with people, you're going to learn, or you're living with roommates, you're going to learn that you don't agree on everything. Okay? Life is not a straight road. Life is curved. That sumbitch has got drop-offs that you are not ready for. It's got potholes, lane changes, red lights, trains, dogs jumping up on the bed when they're not supposed to. Hint, hint. And, sometimes the road is crowded, and you're there going, oh my God, can life move any slower? But in those moments, you have to take the opportunity to realize and be thankful for a slow day, because it could be that fast-paced, oh my God, I've been going since 6 o'clock in the morning. We had plans today to go somewhere. We had to be somewhere by 1 o'clock. I was up at 10:30, got up, got dressed, did what I had to do, and I was ready to go, and it did not happen. Person never showed. Something must have come up. Can't get a hold of the person. Person told us, I'm going to be there. Didn't show up. Were we mad about it? Yes. Did we talk about it? Yes. Did we complain about it? Yes. Did we yell about it? Yes. Did we moan and groan about it? Yes. But we got past it. You know, in every hurdle, you can either stop the race or jump over it and keep going. It is hard enough to realize that life happens. Regardless of what you're doing, life still happens. Life still goes on. And every moment that passes you, life is still existing. And people think that the world revolves around them, because they need what they need. They want what they want. They have what they have. Mine, me, give, now. No. Newsflash, people. The world does not revolve around one person. The world does not revolve around me. The world does not revolve around him. The world does not revolve around... It revolves around all of us. And we need to learn how to work with each other. And I've said before, you don't have to like me. That's okay. I know a lot of people that don't like me. But I'll tell you right now, you're going to respect me. That's what it's going to be. Hey, Michael, how are you? You know, and I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Sorry if I'm not. I think it's Micah, but I look at it and you may want life to go a certain way, and you may think that it's going to go on time and everything's going to be perfect and everybody's going to be where they're supposed to be. And when it doesn't happen, you can get mad. You can get upset. But the point is, you have the ability to say, okay, this didn't work out this way today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reschedule this for this day and this time. I'm going to switch this around. It's going to inconvenience some stuff, but we can still get it done. You know, I look at life as an individual and I say, all right, if it doesn't work here, let's go to option B. If it doesn't work here, let's go to option C. You know, I look at my life and I say, you've got the idea of that you want to get it done. Okay, let's go ahead and get it done. Let's go ahead and figure out what we've got to do to make it happen. Okay? So in that situation, plan A gets shot, and you're like, well, now I've got to restructure things around. And as hard as it is to restructure things around, you get it done. And you go where you're supposed to go, not on the day that you're intending, but you get it done. Now, some things that are very important, okay, that you have something very important to do. You've got to get your Cerebral, or you've got to get your braces adjusted, or you've got a doctor's appointment. And you wake up and you're feeling like, the worst is yet to come and you're going to, keel over. You're going to the doctor anyway, you might as well explain how you're feeling. But sometimes you can't. Sometimes you've got to reschedule. And it may put your life in a pickle, and you may look at it and say, I wish I would have done this. But that doesn't mean that you can't reschedule it either. Now, here's where I want to go with big decisions, and I want you to pay attention to this because this is a big part of it. When you decide to do something, no matter how bad you want it to happen, you want this to happen at this particular time. I want this right here, right now. I want this, da, 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 da. And it doesn't happen on your time. Everything happens for a reason. Everything in this world that exists happens for a reason. And you may not know the answer to it, and you may want the answer more than anything else as to why I didn't get this right here, right now. I'm going to be honest. It's not about our time. It's about God's time. And that's hard to see. That's hard to see sometimes when you're looking at something and you're saying, I want this right here, right now. That's the way I want it to be. Sometimes it is not about you. And no matter how much you think, I'm right, I know I'm right, this can happen right now, I can support it, this is going to go my way, this is the way it's going to be, blah, 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 and you go, it needs to happen right now, and it doesn't, and you are just PO'd and saying, and Kim said today, things happen for a reason. If it doesn't happen today, that doesn't mean it's over. If it doesn't happen when you expect it to happen, that doesn't mean it's not going to. Don't look at something in your life that you want because it doesn't happen when you expect it to, as you didn't accomplish your goal or it didn't happen at the right time. People look at timing as in they're in control of their lives. You are, to a certain point. Hey, Kelly. You are in control of your life to a certain point. But there are things in your life that you're not going to be able to control no matter how bad you want to control those type of things. You cannot control the weather. You cannot control Mother Nature. Mother Nature is in charge of Mother Nature. You cannot control what other people do or say. But what you can control is your reaction or your action to it. Now, I'm going to say this. I used to have one of the worst tempers ever. Got that from my father. I mentioned that, I believe, on my last show or the show before. I have since learned to communicate in a much better way because when I feel myself flipping, what I do is stop. And if I feel myself really slipping or about to lose it, I'll go outside to where I can get myself together and think about what I really want to accomplish. Sometimes walking away from a situation is not that you don't want to talk about it, it's that you don't know what to say, and you want to make sure that you've got enough peace about yourself to say what you need to the right way. It's the people that don't walk away from the situation and blow up and say the wrong thing or something they regret, instead of going outside, taking a few minutes, taking 30 minutes, taking an hour, taking what you need to get yourself together. Everybody needs personal space at some time or another. I got very scared last night because I was not feeling well, and Kim asked me a question. She said, "Do you want me to sleep in the other room so you can have the bed to yourself and be relaxed?" And I freaked. I freaked because Kim has been with me through everything. We have stayed in the same quarters. We have, "Hey, Aunt Faye, how are you?" We have stayed in the same area the entire time. And I asked her, I said, "Why would you say that? You've never asked me that before. It concerns me." She said, "Honey, I was just saying it because you're sore and not feeling well, and I want to make sure that you're okay." I said, "I'm not okay when you're not with me." A person makes a decision with your best interest in mind most of the time. Now, there are people that are going to make a decision to destroy you, whether you like them or not, and they're there just to knock you down. And you've got to see if this person is the right person that needs to be there in your life. That is something that you can control. That is something that you are able to control. How often do you read or weed your garden? I hope you feel better, Aunt Faye. I'm sorry to hear that. You know, I realize that life sometimes will throw that curveball. The hardest part about a curveball is if you crowd the plate too far, you're going to get hit in the face. Okay? And if you get hit in the face, what happens? A knee-jerk reaction, you're going to get mad and go after the pitcher. Or you're going to fall down and lay on the ground for a minute and say, "What the heck just happened?" It's all about that matter of that first second. You know, we look at life and we say, "I wish I could win the lottery. I wish I had more money. I wish I had a better job. I wish. The thing about the lottery is you're not going to win if you don't play. How many jobs have you applied for? How many applications have you filled out? If you want a better job, that's great, but are you thankful, and are you truly thankful for the one that you've got? You know, I've watched my viewership go up for My CP Does Not Define Me in the last year more than I've ever seen it go up, because I've started hitting some hard topics. And I know for a fact that life sometimes hits harder than we do. I know for a fact we lose people. We've lost way too many good people in this world too soon. You lose family members. Children are dying of hunger. There are thousands of people that are suffering right here in the United States And we as people think we got it bad because we had a bad day at work today. Let me ask you something, folks. When's the last time you ate? When's the last time you had a freaking drink of water? When's the last time you changed your shirt? When's the last time you had a shower? When's the last time you've been able to sleep in a bed with clean sheets and a clean pillow? When is the last time you've had a hot meal? When's the last time you told your mother, I love you? You better do it because you can wake up tomorrow and she can be gone. Life does not happen to you. It happens for you. I've said that several times. You know, I've lived my life as a good person, as the best person I could be. I've made some mistakes and I've done some things that I don't agree with, but overall, I consider myself a pretty good person. What made me that person and the fundamentals of my life come from my mom and my grandparents. My mom will be 70 years old this May. What's up, Arius, my boy? 70 years old this May. My grandparents have been gone for over 5 years. There isn't a moment that goes by my life right now where I wish I could pick up the phone and talk to both of them. Just to hear their voice one more time. The decisions we make right now can affect the rest of our lives if we look at where the situation is. We take so many things for granted in this country as individuals. Mom, buy me this. Mom, give me this. I want the new Jordans. I want the new this. I want the new that. I want a PS5. I want. Let me ask you a question. If you're 10 years old, if you're 12 years old, if you're 15 years old, did you thank your mom for making breakfast this morning? Did you thank your mom for that lunch she packed? Did you thank your mom for helping you with her homework? With your homework? What does it mean when you walk through the door and there's a hot meal on the table? It means that you have food in your house. Be thankful for where it came from. You hear your grandfather tell the same story over and over and over. I walked 15 miles to school uphill in the snow with no shoes on, both ways. To and from school. I heard my grandfather tell that story so many damn times. I was like, good Lord, if he tells it again, I'm going to drum kick him this side of the room, the other. Do you know what I would not give to hear my grandfather tell me that story? To hear my grandfather's voice again? To reach out and hold him and tell him how much I love him? Now, the reason I say all that, we're talking about decisions. Every night when you go to bed, never go to bed angry. Because when you go to bed angry and the last words are out of your mouth are, I don't care or whatever, all you're doing is leaving stagnant energy in the room. If you have something on your mind, talk about it, but talk about it in a sensible way. Talk about it. Don't talk down to the person you're talking with. Let them know how they make you feel, but don't assume that they're trying to hurt you, because they may just be asking a question. But it may come out as an attack to you because you've been attacked so much your whole life. That's all you know. And that's okay. Relationships don't stop or shouldn't stop because you have a problem. But the relationship grows when you both have solutions. You don't agree with that? You don't think the relationship grows when you both have a solution and you work together on it?
Yep. Yep.
But a lot of people nowadays will stop at the problem and say, whatever, I've done it. You know everything. I'm not going to say anything. Whatever. And it stagnates because you know you want to say something else. But you feel like all you say, the person doesn't understand. They may understand it, but they also have their own point of view too, which you want to listen to. And if you do, you may say the same thing 12 times. In a relationship, when you're talking about something, when you're trying to come to an agreement, and where you're trying to find something out, you may not intend to, but you may say the same thing 12 times. And each time you say it, you can say it, but it comes out different. Until they finally go, I never understood what you meant until I really thought about it. But sometimes it's that moment where you sit down and you go, I really had to think about what you meant by this. And don't get mad if they ask you a question, because the decision to shut down, you'll kill yourself. When you shut down, you destroy yourself. Every time you shut down and have to press that reset button, there's a chance you don't come back. Now, some people say, I'd rather be quiet than say anything at all. Silence is deadly to a person, because they're wondering what's on your mind and why you're not speaking what you're thinking. Most of the time people are thinking they're wrong, or they're going to say something to offend somebody, when if they just say what's on their mind, you can work through it and go to it, because you're probably thinking the same thought and you don't even realize it. Or it can be totally different, and that's why you talk about it. But you can also over-talk a situation. You can talk it to death, to where you feel like you are beating a dead horse, and you've talked about it, and you've talked about it, and you've talked about it. Sometimes you just got to let it rest for a little bit and come back to it. And I've talked about this earlier. Just because it doesn't happen today doesn't mean it's not intended to happen. So many people get fixated on their own time and what they want when they want it. They forget that it's not about their time. They forget that it's not about their life. They forget it's our life. Because everything you do, whether you realize it or not, affects the other person in the relationship in some way or form. Whether you agree with it or you don't, I'm telling you, it happens. You can say, I'm a stone wall. I'm a stone wall. Nothing affects me. I can just turn it off and not feel anything. You can wet a wall down 300 times, and if you tell me that wall ain't slippery, you've lost your mind. You can try to climb it and slide right back down that son of a gun every single time. And say, well, the wall's dry. You know how much water was put on that wall? Or you keep patching a hole with a Band-Aid and not putting medicine on it. And every time you rip that Band-Aid off, it reopens the wound and you wonder why. Because you didn't make the decision to properly treat it in the first place. That's why wounds are so hard to close when they reopen. And it always starts with something small. Usually the big problems don't happen. It's a lot of little small ones. You ever get an irritant or something in your eye and it keeps getting in your eye and you keep rubbing it and keep rubbing it, it gets redder and redder and redder, and all of a sudden you can't see out of that eye, it swells up? One little grain of sand. You ever get something in the body of your shoe, been walking, whoa, ow, 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 what the heck's in my shoe? Little tiny pebble can cause the most uncomfortability. Little tiny cut on your finger. Paper cut. Hurt like hell. Bleed like a fish. Little tiny cut. The little things that can hurt you the most. Little things. But when you're able to talk about it and say, you know what? You're right. If it doesn't happen today, it'll happen the next time. I realize in my life that I have fewer days in front of me than I do behind me. I realize that I'm getting old. Cat, if you knock stuff off my dresser, I'm going to drop kick you. Get down. My cat has decided to make my dresser a personal jungle gym. And we are trying to get her not to do that. Now she's going to jump behind there and get stuck. And then meow her head off till somebody comes to take her out. Or squeeze her body through a tiny little hole and then laugh at us because she looked at us while we were stupid the whole time. Trying to get her. But I realize that you may be thinking about this big decision that you've had. And you lie awake at night saying, am I doing the right thing? I'm going to end the show with this because I got about 10 minutes left. When you feel in your gut that something isn't right, go with it. If everything tells you that something isn't right now, listen to your instincts. Trust your gut instincts. They're there for a reason. I've competed in almost, I would say probably 11 or 12 Battle of the Seven Cities. I'm competing on another one June 7th. I've never won the Battle of the Seven Cities. But I compete every year. And I compete to win, but I learn from every loss I've ever experienced. What's that got to do with decision? The decision to keep going, get to the finish line. The decision to stop is what prevents you. I'm trying to figure out why this happens this way. I'm trying to figure out why my life is going the way it's going. But if I stop if I stop, my journey stops where I stop. My journey ends when I make it end. And that is where people get confused. They say, oh no, I stopped because I couldn't go anymore. I stopped because I was tired. I stopped because this person told me I shouldn't. I stopped because no, you stopped because you chose to stop. The only person that ends their own journey or stops in that race is you. Your mind and how hard you push yourself and what you go through in life will make you realize that you have to temper yourself. And I want you to understand this right here. You have to temper yourself to the point of being sharpened by your own obstacles. I've heard this said before, what doesn't kill me makes me stronger. I don't like saying that, but the challenges in my life that I go through does make me a better person. If I choose to embrace and learn from those challenges. Some people will watch through a whole hour of My CP Does Not Define Me. Some people will watch 30 minutes. Some people will watch for 5 minutes. Some people will come on at the end of the show. Some people will go back and watch the playback. Some people will say, oh, I was there, I saw everything. I couldn't be there because I had this, and this. You can make up all the excuses in the world why you cannot do something. But there's one way that you can do something, and that's to get it done. And let nothing else stop you. People have the tendency to go toward the can'ts or the won'ts or the don'ts before they do, they win, or they can. And when they realize how important it is to push yourself to the end, including making a big decision. I said earlier in the show, sometimes you have to wait and come back to it. You have to put it on the shelf for a little bit. You've got to rethink. You got to rethink about it. You got to restructure. You got to re-wonder. You got to you got to go back a little bit. You got to take a step back from it, but don't abandon it. I realize that people think I'm not going to get there because I'm not going to do this because I'm not going to get it. It's too hard. I've tried and I've tried and I've tried and I've failed. It's not how many times you get knocked down. It's how many times you get back up. And you can knock me down, but to finish the job, you got to knock me out. And you may knock me down a couple of times. You may knock me down 10 times. But it's the 11th time that I get back up and I say, I'm still going to go for what I want to go for. But to go through it with somebody, to go through it with the person that you've struggled with, the person that you fought with, the person that pulls your hair out, but the person that's there for you in the end when nobody else is, to go through that and realize and say, you know what? We're going to be okay. We're going to be okay. No matter what they throw at us, we're going to take life on because I'm with you to the end. Regardless of what the end brings, I'm going to be there for you. I'm going to be there with you till the end because what's mine is yours and what's yours is mine. Now, you got people that are going to tell you, I'll help you when you need it. All you got to do is call me. I'll be there for you. Don't worry about it. You got this. All you got to do is call me. And every time you pick up the phone, they got something to do. They've told you 150,000 times, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there for you. If they're not there for you, then you don't need them in your life. If they told you and constantly let you down, if they've constantly let you down, they're not worth your time. Sometimes you got to weed out that garden. Okay? Guys, I want to thank everybody that's been on the show today. I want to thank all of our commenters. I want to thank all of our viewers for watching. Thank you guys for bearing with me for this hour. I'm sorry that I've been on my phone, but like I've said, it's been a really tough day. Thank you for hanging with me for this episode. Just understand that it is the people that comment and the people that come in and watch and share this video that makes this show possible. I want to thank every individual person that has said hello to me and commented and asked questions and emailed. I do appreciate it and thank you all so much. Please join me every Wednesday at 7 p.m. for My CP Does Not Define Me. This is episode 165. And I want to thank every single person that commented and actually joined, whether you joined for 5 minutes or 50 minutes, you're important. And the people that are supposed to be here will be here. So I want to thank you for that. Please make sure that you tune in next week at 7 for another exciting episode of My CP Does Not Define Me. If you'd like to be on the show, you can email me at carterdj85@gmail.com. Please put your name and a 5-sentence bio about yourself, 5 to 7 sentences. Don't write a book because I'm not going to read it all. If you've been on the show before and you want to get back on, I will have you on again, but we're going to go through the new guys first. Thank y'all so much. If you can't be good, be bad, but be good at it. This is D to the J with a roll. D to the J with a roll away. Saying we'll see you next Wednesday. Same bat time, same bat channel. It's not easy being cheesy, but I got to get the nose, though. That's okay. I'll go with it. All right, y'all, take it easy. Love you. Peace.